The aversion of big words, as well as not understanding what words mean, is a big part of why I think Americans are so susceptible to diagonalism. Not the only part. Naomi Klein's book Doppelganger, she uses diagonalism outside of its original mathematical term to refer to when one word can mean two completely different things, depending on who is talking. And she talks about how we have seen a rise of this in the United States since COVID. She talks about how in math, diagonalization is a clever proof technique. You take a list, you go down the diagonal, you flip the numbers to come up with something new. It proves that the original list was incomplete. It's a concept by George Cantor to show that infinities can be different sizes. Klein talks about how the far right does this, particularly Steve Bannon. According to Klein, when the left complains about something or makes an issue with an issue, ties the emotional appeal or fear to it, but then doesn't resolve the issue, then Steve Bannon in particular has been very good over the past couple of decades at coming in and flipping the meaning of that word or taking the opposite stance on an issue. But then those same emotions and concerns apply because they've already been assigned to that word. So she gives the example of how the left has criticized Big Pharma for a while, but hasn't done much to stop them. And then Steve Bannon came in during COVID and then flipped the script to make it, oh, you want to trust Big Pharma with these new vaccines, even though the person who ordered the vaccines made was Trump. Or people talking about, hey, we need to have more inclusion and belonging in our schools and workplaces. And then people who didn't want that saying, well, now I don't feel included or like I belong. And so now you're actually the excluder. In math, you're flipping the 0 to a 1 or vice versa. But in diagonalism, from an ideology standpoint, you're flipping the same issue to a different attribution. Instead of looking at a systemic problem that needs to be resolved, you're assigning it to what a lot of people would call a conspiracy theory. But since it has roots in a real issue, it sticks. The real problem behind this issue is not doing anything about the original problem, which has been a complaint among Democrats for a while. And what also makes us susceptible to words and people changing the meaning is our very poor reading levels and our lack of critical thinking. Trust me, as a social class researcher, I'm very aware and I hate that an education is associated with a higher status and class. I don't believe it should be that way. I even have my own conspiracy theory that it was intentionally done this way to make sure that we're easy and gullible. Tools like this make it very hard to have conversations between people at all because you can think you're talking clearly and talking about the same thing, and the meaning can have completely different contexts. I'm curious, have you experienced this? And if you have, what strategies have you used to continue relationships with people who have learned different terms than you?